Big news has now arrived on Gunners. You want to know all the details, so follow me until the end of the video. But first, if you are in love with Arsenal, show your love and subscribe to THE channel now and turn on notifications. Here we post daily news and behind the scenes of the biggest club in THE Premier League, Arsenal. Thank you. The Arsenal reality check on Tottenham, as fan debate heats up over Man City's slip. Arsenal fans grappling with the idea of supporting a Tottenham victory must understand that the reason for doing so is nothing to be ashamed of. The spectrum of views among many Arsenal and Tottenham fans in the final week of the season is a peculiar and fascinating scenario. The Gunners know that this could be their best chance to win the title if their North London rivals manage an unlikely result against Man City. That said, City's record against Spurs is one of the worst in the league. They seem to find it extremely difficult to beat them under various managers and with or without Harry Kane. Ange Postecoglou secured a 3-3 draw at the Etihad Stadium earlier this season. Last season, Spurs won 1-0 at home, and the season before that, Tottenham did the double over City, winning 3-2 in Manchester and 1-0 in North London. This is why Arsenal has hope, but the dynamics have become overwhelming for many. Some Arsenal fans struggle to reconcile the hope for a positive result for their fiercest rivals. From a personal standpoint, as an Arsenal supporter, the only occasion I would wish for Arsenal to lose would be in a game where the result had no bearing on the Gunners' season or a potential reward like Champions League qualification or another European competition, but it would cost Tottenham the league. Many disagree and believe that an Arsenal fan should never want Spurs to win or Arsenal to lose. It remains subjective, and of course, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. The best way I have to describe the scenario Arsenal finds itself in this season is quite simple. No animosity based on the rivalry that an Arsenal fan may have towards Spurs should outweigh their love and desire for Arsenal's success. This means that yes, we may need to compromise our ingrained desire to wish misfortune upon Spurs because passion and the desire for Arsenal to succeed always come first. For Tottenham, at the very least, a top 6 finish will still be on the line before the game with City. Wins for Chelsea and Newcastle in the last 2 games could see them overtake Spurs if they lose to City and Sheffield United. However, the biggest incentive remains a place in the UEFA Champions League, which would be a very real possibility if Liverpool were to defeat Aston Villa on Monday night, allowing Postecoglou to narrow the gap to just 1 point by beating City. In this scenario, there should be no animosity from Arsenal fans that surpasses the desire of a true supporter to see their team potentially rewarded with a return to the Champions League. It's true that it would be painful to see the benefit to your rivals, but again, love for the club should never be overshadowed or clouded by disdain for your rivals. The week ahead will be one with Arsenal fans crossing their fingers firmly. William Saliba delivers perfect response to Tottenham fans ahead of crucial match with Manchester City. Gunners' French defender is confident that Spurs can do Arsenal a favour in the Premier League title race by defeating Manchester City on Tuesday night. William Saliba has backed Tottenham Hotspur to get a result against Manchester City on Tuesday and tilt the title race in favour of Arsenal. Saliba was superb as Arsenal secured only their 2nd Premier League victory at Old Trafford since 2006, thanks to Leandro Trossard's first-half goal. The result ensures that this season's title race will go down to the wire at least. However, Arsenal still finds itself in the curious position of needing to rely on their North London rivals to get a result against City when they travel to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Tuesday. Few would make Spurs favourites against Pep Guardiola's side, who are currently in the midst of their longest unbeaten run in the Premier League. Saliba is hopeful that Ange Postecoglou's men can spring a surprise. "I think the whole team will be Tottenham fans on Tuesday," quipped the Frenchman. "We'll be praying for Tuesday. Hopefully, it's a good week for us, and we'll see. We did our job today. We have another job next week, and we'll see what happens. We know Tottenham is a very good team. Our first and second game against them wasn't easy. Hopefully, they're at their best on Tuesday." There have been some suggestions that Tottenham fans would prefer to lose to City on Tuesday to hinder Arsenal's title pursuit. Saliba, however, is confident that Spurs players will put that aside. Provided Aston Villa drops points against Liverpool on Monday night, there's still a remote chance that Tottenham could qualify for the Champions League next season. Saliba feels this motivation could be crucial on Tuesday. "No, I don't think so," he said when asked if Spurs might be tempted to approach the game lightly. "As they want to play in the Champions League next season, I think they'll try to win. I know their fans don't want them to beat City, but they're good competitors, so I think they'll do their best to win." City. Liverpool could give Arsenal an unexpected title boost as Jurgen Klopp offers incentive to Tottenham. Liverpool could inadvertently provide Tottenham with an incentive to defeat Manchester City and aid Arsenal in the title race. Arsenal ensured that the Premier League title race will go down to the wire, having managed to surpass Manchester United and secure 3 invaluable points at Old Trafford. The result means that Manchester City will need to win the upcoming match against Tottenham on Tuesday night to go into the final round as the league leaders with an advantage. On the final day, Arsenal will host Everton, and City will face West Ham at the Etihad Stadium. David Moyes has already stated that stopping City is tough, let alone his under-14 team, which does little to give the Gunners confidence in a favour from their London counterparts. Therefore, the home clash against Tottenham may be their last hope. Many may wonder why on earth Spurs would want to do any favours for Arsenal, but it might not be intentional, with much still at stake. That's why on Monday night, Arsenal is hoping that their former title rival, Liverpool, who they knocked out of contention last weekend, defeats Aston Villa. Unai Emery travels to Anfield knowing that a victory will confirm a top 4 finish and a spot in the Champions League next season. However, if Jurgen Klopp's team secures the win, Villa could be just 1 point behind Tottenham if Ange Postecoglou manages to beat Manchester City this weekend. There's motivation for Tottenham. Although it must be said that Spurs could still drop out of the top 6 before the end of the season if they lose the next 2 games and both Newcastle United and Chelsea win their last 2 matches, the likelihood of a single Liverpool victory giving them much greater motivation to beat Man City is higher. Spurs defender Mickey van de Ven has already given Arsenal much more confidence than Moyes. The Dutch international has openly expressed his desire to try to qualify for the top European competition. "I hope we can win the upcoming matches and have a chance to qualify for the Champions League," the Dutch defender told Premier League Productions. "We saw today that Man City is an unbelievable team and plays very good football, but it's up to us to show our football, and I hope we can keep the 3 points at home." There will certainly be some conflicting feelings among Arsenal fans, but in reality, it's quite simple. To win the championship, they are likely to need a favour from their biggest rivals, and that should be something they hope for. The crazy scoreline Arsenal might need against Everton to secure the Premier League title over Man City. Arsenal could benefit from a wild scoreline on the final day against Everton, in the unlikely event that everything is tied with Manchester City. Arsenal and Manchester City will face off on the last day of the Premier League season at their respective grounds, battling for the title. The Gunners host Everton, while Pep Guardiola's side takes on West Ham United at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City has significantly reduced the goal difference in recent weeks, now only 3 behind Arsenal. The irony for Arsenal is that they are hoping for a favour from their North London rival, Tottenham, for goal difference to matter on the final day. The Premier League has rules in place for tiebreakers beyond just points and goal difference on the final day of the season. Goal difference exists to separate teams on the same points, but in instances where that's equal to, the next metric is goals scored. Manchester City has scored 91 goals compared to Arsenal's 89, putting them ahead after this weekend's matches, with a 4-goal win over Fulham. Hypothetically, if they drew 0-0 with Tottenham on Tuesday night, a result could transpire on Sunday with points, goal difference, and goals scored all level. If Manchester City were to beat West Ham 4-0, leaving them with 95 goals scored and a goal difference of +62, and Arsenal were to defeat Everton 6-5 at the Emirates Stadium, they would also have scored 95 goals with a goal difference of +62. In this crazy and unlikely scenario, the Premier League would need to move to the next decisive factor, head-to-head record. Fortunately for Arsenal, their 1-0 win over City in London and the 0-0 draw with them in Manchester would give them the edge in this case. If City drew 1-1, or 2-2, and so forth with Tottenham, it would require 1 more goal from Arsenal and Everton beyond the initial 6-5 result in the 0-0, between Spurs and City to achieve this result. So, 7-6 for 1-1 and 8-7 for 2-2, and so on. Arsenal's season won't be defined by the results against Man City if they don't win the league. Having won and drawn, they would have hoped that would have taken them into the final day with a greater advantage, such as total points. Unfortunately, having dropped points in more games outside of their City clashes, it means they still rely on many things falling their way. City has created an environment of needing near perfection to win the league. The question is, has Arsenal done enough? If you have got this far, fans, leave a like. Thank you.